You're listening to the Conference Board of Canada's Mental Health and COVID-19 series with Dr. Bill Howatt, Chief of Research, Workplace Productivity.
Hi, Bill Howatt, Mental Health, COVID-19 with the Conference Board of Canada. Today, I'm going to have a conversation with you about mental fitness. And why I'm going to talk about mental fitness is because I was asked recently, Bill, what is the one thing you would do if it was one thing you could do to support employees in the workplace that are trying to get through COVID-19 and are on the way back to what's called return to the workplace. And we're not going to say post COVID-19 because that is not the truth, because it's going to be a while before we're on the other side of this. We have to make sure until there's a vaccine, till there is a viral drug that can treat this, and until we have this thing caged and away from us, we still have to deal with this issue. So, mental fitness. I haven't done an acronym for a while, so I felt it compelling to give you one. We're going to go with the acronym today of MENTAL to set up the stage to educate you what mental fitness is and why I'm so passionate about it. Number one, the M, make yourself important. I can't tell you how many people have come to my office and for whatever the reason is. So for example, they said to me, Bill, I want some help with you to help me do some things around my body, and I want to be able to take better charge of my body and my health, and lose some weight, build my self-esteem, do that. I said, okay, great. What's the two most important things to you in your life? And they'll say maybe their work, their children, their partner, their community. I'll say, what seems to be missing from this list, perhaps? And they'll go, I don't know. I said, maybe you. See, one of the things is until we value ourselves, it's a challenge for us to ever make any change. So number one, mental health is about making yourself important. Understand that mental health and mental illness are used interchangeably too often. People with a good mental health goes from a continuum from low to high, and it moves back and forth. It moves on a continuum. People with a mental illness, they can go from low to high as well. 20% of the population in Canada at any point in time has a mental health issue. We now know loneliness is around 20 to 30%. With COVID-19, it's probably closer to 50% people dealing with isolation loneliness. Be clear, what that means is the absence of social connections, whether it's micro-touching or involvement. So mental health is what the 100% of the population can do, is they can learn about taking better charge themselves. Now that gets to the E, educate on what mental fitness is. Now, the challenge is I'm using something as a concept without giving you a frame of reference, you would not know what it is. So if I asked you what the algorithm is for physical health is, you would say perhaps exercise, diet, rest, lifestyle choices. Now, whether you're doing it or not, you know what's good for you. You know if you do exercise, diet, rest, and relaxation, and lifestyle, and you can reduce your risk for chronic disease. You know that. Now, whether you make the choice or not, that's up to you. That depends on if you make yourself important. Now, if you do this all the time, can you still die of a heart attack or cancer? Yes, but your chances are risk. Mental fitness is the same. The question is, what is the algorithm for mental fitness? And if you pause for a second and say, what is it? And you'll come up with some ideas. Here's what the algorithm is that I'm promoting. It's physical health, it's mental fitness, the activities which I'm going to talk about now for around mental health, and social connections. So mental fitness is something that you can do with intention that can impact how you actually experience and see the world. It can develop your coping and skills and your resiliency. So think about mental fitness as you're like a battery. And what happens is that it's not only what you do, it's the situations you put you in. So for example, work can be a source of energy or it can be a drain. Your choices you make can be a source of energy and can be a drain. So first is the E is to educate what mental fitness is. So think about yourself as a battery. What are the things you do with intention to charge your battery that give you the resilience to push through? Coping skills teach you how, when you get caught in your emotional part of your brain, how to flip yourself back so you can stay on track. Now, the N is important for impacting your mental health. Lots of us spend time worrying about yesterday and anticipating tomorrow. That's not where the work's done. It's the same thing as if you want to get in shape on a Stairmaster. If you think about working out tomorrow and don't do it, you're not going to get those, the body you want, or the cardiovascular you want, or the health outcome. Mental health is done in the now. Mindful that what you choose to do in the moment can have an impact on your mental health. So we do mental health in the present moment, and it requires mindfulness to be aware and intention. The same thing as physical exercise or physical health. If you want to eat healthy, it requires intention and with regards to what you put in your mouth. The same thing with mental health. It requires intention of what kind of thoughts and emotions you're going to be involved in. So I'll get into this in a second. So now is important. And then the T, take action daily. And what I mean by that, mental health is not something that in an already busy schedule will take you a tremendous amount of time. Once you actually understand and develop the concepts around mental fitness, it could take you 3, 5, 10, 15 minutes a day that you can actually be putting that into your day routine that can be helping you charge your battery and impact your filters of how you're interpreting the world, which will impact your thoughts, which impacts your emotions, which will impact your mental health. And understand that your mental health is your view of the world, of how you experience it. You'll have between 25 and 40 thoughts every minute, between 40 and 60,000 thoughts a day. If we're doing most of these thoughts unconsciously, then we can be starting to build up a script in our head that is not in our own best interest and not good for our mental health. So we need to be aware what we do in the now, right at this moment, the thoughts and the emotions impact your mental health. Now, the A, in a time where there's all kinds of environmental change and COVID-19 has created all kinds of strategies for us to try to readjust, readapt, and change and transform how we're doing. Ultimately, the environment and all this stress can be an energy drain. That's why mental fitness is important. There's things that if you're dealing with isolation and you're dealing with family conflict and you're dealing with work stress, those are things that can drain your battery. If you're not mindful of what you're doing that charges your battery, like big charges, like if you're a jogger and you really enjoy jogging, that can be a big charge for your battery and can get you excited. So accept that you own your mental health. That's the A. Accept that you own your mental health. That's critical. For me, when I work with large organizations and I support organizations, it's a two-way accountability. Employers can facilitate the opportunity for employees to develop their mental health. Employees need to own their mental health. I've never had an employer show up in my office for an employee for their counseling session. It's important that we understand, regardless of how hard it can be, we ultimately own our mental health. And that means we accept our responsibility. And what mental fitness is about is becoming aware, taking accountability, and learning to take action. The L is learn micro skills. Now, in a 5, 8, 10-minute video, however long this video is going to be today, is important. I can't teach you a whole lot of different micro skills, but I can tell you one way to think about developing your mental fitness plan is to think about 3 pillars. Physical health, that's one of the parts of the algorithm, mental fitness, and your social connections. And under each one of those, putting in things that you can do. So for example, physical, what are you going to do in regards to bedtime, sleep, exercise, diet, rest, nutrition? That's helping that pillar. Your mental health is, there's all kinds of micro skills. Like when I do a lot of writing for the Globe and Mail, some of you probably already know, and I have well over 300 different micro skills. And what I want you to think about, the micro skills are really important for what you're trying to do. So if I'm trying to calm my brain, for example, I want micro skills that work on my amygdala part of my brain, my fight or flight. So that would be like deep breathing exercises, progressive relaxation techniques, meditation, mindfulness, the things that are training my old brain to slow down. If I want to deal with my cognition up front and I'm dealing with racing thoughts, I might want to start journaling and writing out my thoughts, or tracking my emotions, or tracking my mood. Or I may want to do other things like bibliotherapy, to start reading some books that are good for my mental health. I mean, I just finished writing a book myself on helping people called Stop Hiding and the thing and Start Living. And the reason I wrote the book is to provide people a frame of reference with techniques on mental health. So there's all kinds of good stuff out there on mental health. You can take workshops on mental health. You can, mental fitness or resiliency. In other words, that education part of filling in all the different types of micro skills. The big ones that I have found for myself personally in my day plan to give you, I use a lot of gratitude. I'm going to talk about it on Friday. I use a thing called savoring, which is very cool as a technique too. And there's other things that I'll do as well, is personally because I struggle with anxiety by times. I do a lot of diaphragmatic breathing, deep breathing, and I'll learn when I feel anxious, I'll do that. But for me, getting my daily walk, and then if I get anxious, doing my deep breathing and doing my journaling daily and tracking my emotions daily, that gives me awareness. I also do 2 minutes a day of mindfulness, which I find hilariously enjoyable for me because my mind's usually racing, but I say it's time to spend two now. And I stop, I spin away from my chair, I just look at the floor, I focus on my breath, and I allow all those thoughts to race and I keep pushing them away. And I'm looking just to try to find a moment of quiet. I want to be able to be comfortable doing nothing. For my brain, boredom, allowing myself to experience some boredom, learning how to get that is good for me. So the concept around mental fitness, what's important for you to be aware of in an introductory like this, you can Google mental fitness programs and practices and look at different tools, and there's all kinds of action items out there that you can take on. What I'm wanting to do in this video blog is introduce you, which I'm very excited. The single most important thing I would do is have every one of my employees, if I was a CEO or if I was a senior leader in a large organization, to give them a mental fitness program. And here's what's important. No two programs need to be the same. Everybody can, there's so many different skills out there. It's learning what you do with intention and personalizing that program. And if you do a mental fitness program daily and do it daily over 4 to 6 weeks, you'll start to see a benefit. The same as you would from exercise. You do it for 3 months, you'll see more benefit. And that's what's really exciting is through neuroplasticity, you can restructure and reshape your mind and have amazing impact on your mental health. So your mental health is just something that doesn't happen to you. 40% of all your mental health and happiness is impacted by what's called intentional behaviors. So leaving you with this to think about, I'm hoping that you got a couple ideas about this and to walk away from this video blog thinking, will I actually be able to have enough information from this? I think you do, is to start putting together some ideas, to start doing your own research and start engaging the process to develop your own mental fitness plan, to charge your battery, keep your charge so you have the energy to get through this. And we will get through this one day at a time, one decision at a time, one action at a time. So with that, I hope you have a great day. See you soon. Wish you all the best. Take care. Hi, Bill Howatt here. Hopefully you're finding these videos of some value. If you'd like to share these, on the lower right of your video, there's a icon you can click. You can send it through your social media feeds. Join the Conference Board of Canada social media feed so we can keep you up to date. And if you have ideas, suggestions, please leave your comment so we can consider them. And if you have things that you'd like us to speak to, I certainly will try to do all I can to help out. With that, have a wonderful day.